We're doing another monthly budget recap where I'm going over what I spent in September, what I made in September, and then we're gonna go over my budget in October, talk about what I'm making and how I'm allocating that money. So let's get into it. All right, starting out in September with income, I made $10,982. And if you're new here, the way that breaks down, I have a full-time marketing job, 9 to 5, where I'm a salaried employee. Then I have a side hustle where I manage paid ads for a company doing Microsoft ads, Google ads, Facebook ads. And then I have YouTube income. And I'm often asked a lot how I make money from YouTube. And all the income I make is solely from AdSense. So companies pay YouTube to put their ads on the platform, and then YouTube gives the creator a cut of that ad spend. Because I rely solely on ad spend, it is completely inconsistent. You never know what you're gonna get. It is completely up and down. Sometimes it can be $1,000, sometimes it can be $5,000, sometimes it's $7,000. You just don't know. So that's how that's broken up. Let's talk about 401k quickly. For my salaried full-time position, while I was paying off my debt, I was contributing 15% of my paycheck pre-tax into 401k. But since I paid that off, I just upped that to 25% pre-tax to go into a 401k. I did 25 to be safe, but I think I'm just gonna go up to 28 because it's not gonna be that much of a difference, and just max it out just to be safe. So right now though, I'm contributing 25% of my paycheck to 401k. If we look at bills, they're not that high in general right now because we don't have a lot of expenses. Again, if you're new here, quick backstory, my boyfriend and I are living with his parents right now because both are unwell. And I don't like to talk a lot about it because it's not my place to say, but his dad is essentially dying and he is his caretaker. We do have a nurse here during the day while we're at work, but other than that, my boyfriend is his caretaker. And so while we transition and while this is happening, we are not paying to live here. So bills that way are pretty low. My phone is paid for through the company I work with, and my car is completely paid off. I've also paid my car insurance in full, so I don't think I have another payment until, I want to say April of 2026, something like that. So the bills that I did pay for was my video editor, my YouTube video editor. I paid for my Rent the Runway subscription, which is about $200 per month. We also pay for a house cleaner to come here every other week, and she is paid, my portion of that bill is $95 every other week. And then I have my gym membership and my travel. I travel to, if you're from the US, you might know where this area is, but I live on Cape Cod. I travel to Nantucket 1 to 2 days a week, and I pay for parking and sometimes travel, but I am reimbursed. Where my expenses are creeping up a little bit, okay, they're going a little high, is subscriptions. They're getting up there. So right now, my subscriptions are about $230. And the way that breaks up, I'll tell you, and you can tell me, I might be going down a scary path here asking for opinions, but it's fine. So the way that my subscriptions breaks down is CapCut, which is video editing software. And you might be like, you have a video editor, why do you need that? Well, I also edit a lot of videos for my full-time job. So I do a ton of social media work, and which involves a lot of video editing for Reels. I find CapCut video editing platform for short form videos to be super easy. That subscription is $21 per month. I pay for Apple iCloud, which is $21 per month. I pay for an Apple subscription called Alarmy, that is $8 per month. And the reason why I pay for this is because it has been the struggle of my life to wake up on time and not hit the snooze button. This is something I have never gotten over. I cannot figure this out for the life of me. I love sleep so much. If I could sleep for like 14 hours a day, I think I would be thrilled. It is the struggle of my life to wake up and stay awake. Sleep inertia is a thing, and I have it. So Anyway, this alarm clock makes you do different tasks, and you can choose the task you want to do, and it will not stop going off the alarm until you finish this task. And so the task might be writing out a quote that they'll give you a quote and you have to type it out. Another one is doing squats, and you can say, I want to do 15 squats or 20 squats before the alarm will stop going off. And so it's a good way to force me to do something, so I'm not just hitting the snooze and then going back to bed. And I've tried everything. Right now, my alarm clock is in the bathroom and my bed is over there. And I can easily just walk back to bed and get in bed and fall asleep in 2 seconds. So long-winded to say I pay for an alarm clock subscription for $8 a month. YouTube Premium, because I do not like to watch ads in YouTube. And all I do is watch YouTube all the time. And that is $23 per month. Then I have my email marketing platform, which I have not used yet, but I will start a newsletter quite soon. That is $107 per month. Then I have Stand Store, where I link everything, all of my guides, like my shopping addiction guide and the money coach guide and anything else I want to link. I use a Stand Store, and I do love the Stand Store. It's a really useful tool that I think a lot of people should use. It's $29 per month. ChatGPT, Pro ChatGPT. I use this day in and day out. I freaking love it, but it is $21 per month. And then I just paid for Opus Clip, which is, I think Opus Clip it cost me $107 for the year, maybe. And Opus Clip basically takes your YouTube videos and cuts it up into short videos so I can put it on TikTok and Instagram. Because right now, I don't have a lot of bandwidth to record YouTube videos and record short form videos to go on YouTube and TikTok. And I do want to have a presence on those platforms. And so you don't necessarily need to find me on there, because if you're watching these videos, it's the same thing regurgitated. I'm using this platform to cut it up and put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram and TikTok, which the service is great. I freaking love it. My point is, like, my subscriptions are they keep raising, and everything feels necessary. Most of it is, not all of it, but a lot of it is business related. It's just expensive. $230 in subscriptions. All right, let's go into planned spending. Taxes, I plan for $1,800, and I put that into a high yield savings account so that it is ready when I am ready to pay taxes. I actually allocated in September about $2,200 for taxes just to be safe. Medical bills, I budgeted $750. I had 3 doctor's appointments, all of which required lab work or something similar. I have health insurance. It's not the best. I know I'm going to get a few bills. They haven't come through yet, so I have not paid them, but I allocated $750, so I will keep that going into October. Groceries, I budgeted $600 and spent $598. Personal care, I allocated $550 and spent $402. And the way that works out, that was shampoo, conditioner. I replaced all skincare products. So my 2 moisturizers, and then I purchased a retinol and a vitamin C, which I will talk about in another video, to be determined. But personal care was expensive this month. Car repair. I allocated $500. I had an issue with my car. I have a Range Rover, and I don't say that like, oh, look at me. It was the worst mistake of my life. I made a whole video on it, but I do. And the car, the handles pop inside when you lock the door. And when you want to unlock it, you press a button and the handle pops out. It sounds great. It looks great until the handles stop working. And then you go to unlock the car and there's no handle because it doesn't pop out. That's what happened. So all that to say, that cost me about $700 to repair. It's the beauty of owning one of those cars. It's expensive. Car repair cost me, $640 actually. Gas, I allocated $150. I spent $91. Restaurants, I allocated $150. I spent $137. Dry cleaning, I went a little over. I allocated $50. I spent $61. Coffee, allocated $40. I spent $64. Botox, I was going to get Botox in September, but because my personal care budget, which was $400 I spent. It just seemed like too much. So I didn't. I booked it for end of October just because I just didn't feel ready, financially ready. And then another thing I did in September was I spent $215 repairing my shoes. So my 2 high-heeled boots for fall and winter and my flatter shoes were kind of worn in a lot. They were scratched everywhere. They just looked a little jacked up. So I brought them to the cobbler to have them totally refinished and done, and they look brand new, which is great. I would like to buy 1 pair of plain black loafers if I can find something that I like, because I need a flat shoe. Like right now, every shoe I have for fall and winter has some sort of a heel. I would like a absolute flat shoe. I just have not found anything that I like. So I did that. And then for my emergency fund, I allocated about $4,600 into my emergency fund in September. And so I currently stand around 15,000-ish, a little over. My goal is $50,000. And I feel like once I have a $50,000 emergency fund, then I can start to figure out what my next move is, because I think that my full-time job, I think it might be in jeopardy a little. And there's 2 things. I don't like to talk too much about this now because people from my job know I have this channel, and so they can easily find it and watch it. And so I need to be careful with what I say, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't really love my job, honestly. I love the people. I freaking love the people. I don't love being in the office 9 to 5. It's wearing on me heavily, but I'm not doing anything about it because I have to have a plan in place. I also, not only do I not enjoy it, and it's wearing me down a little bit. There's a lot of reasons why. Not only do I not enjoy it, but I also think that my job may not exist in a year or 2 just because I'm in marketing. A lot of marketing jobs are going by the wayside because of AI, and I can see the pattern. Like I can see what programs they're putting in place that are basically automatic and replacing a lot of the jobs and things that we do. And it's a slow progression, but they're already starting to implement these things. And I told one of my coworkers the other day when we had a meeting on it, and they showed this whole new program, and it is an automatic program. And I texted her, I was like, we're not gonna have a job in a year or 2. It is gonna be gone. So honestly, I would like to try to, I'd like to keep my side hustle and do this full time. That would be ideal. I don't know. I think it is possible. I just need to have a plan. Anyway, that's really long-winded to say. My goal is $50,000 high-yield savings account before I can think about the next step. And just so I feel like I'm prepared if something happens in my job. Okay, let's go into October budget. October's income is set to be around $11,000. The way that breaks down is 2 paychecks of about $1,800 each from my full-time job. And then that also includes the 25% 401k that will go into effect next paycheck. Then I have my side income, which is $1,750. And then YouTube income, I will receive about $5,700 in the month of October. Let's go into bills. Bills totals $1,200, and it's kind of the same thing as last month. It's rent the runway, it is house cleaner, gym, video editor for YouTube, and the subscriptions, $217. It's expensive. I need to really sit with the subscriptions and figure out if they're necessary. What can I cut back? What do I not need? I don't really need a lot of, I can go without YouTube Premium if I want. I can go without the alarm clock, although it would be difficult. I don't know. I need to think it through. Planned spending. Planned spending is going to be a little pricey, okay? Planned spending is going to be expensive this month, $6,500. This may be higher, this may be lower. I don't really know. Taxes, I am allocating $2,200-ish. I put that into a high-yield savings account, and that will come out during tax season. Medical bills, I still have not paid my medical bills, but I just allocated $1,300 to pay it. Hopefully it's not higher than that. That would be kind of crazy. Hopefully it's lower, but I don't really know. Personal care is expensive in October. Personal care, I've allocated $1,000, which is, I know, you want to yell at me, yell at me. It's fine. It is fine. So the reason why it's so expensive is because I have a hair appointment. I'm switching hairdressers. And so the intro appointment for her to change over the color and, make some adjustments is going to be expensive. It's going to be like $400. Going forward, once I'm a client, it will be basically half that. But generally, this is the trend with most hairdressers, I think, is that, at least from my experience, is that if you're visiting somebody new, the initial appointment is always more expensive. Then I also have Botox. I've booked Botox. It is at the end-ish of October. So I'm going to do that. Those two combined is really expensive. And then I also purchased already face oil and nail polish, which I'll talk about in a different video. But yeah, personal care is expensive. Pets, I allocated $900, and so far I've spent $791. I allocated $900 because my dog went to sleep fine and woke up limping. And this has happened before, and he just kind of, we tape it up a little bit, and then he's fine in a day or two. But it didn't happen this time. I gave it 48 hours, and on the second day, he was not walking. Like I had to carry him anywhere, even to just go outside to pee. So I took him to the vet, and they did x-rays and blood work, and that cost me $791. We thought he was going to need surgery. They thought it was an ACL tear, but honestly, they gave me anti-inflammatory. And since I gave him that medicine, he's been fine. He is back to his normal self. So I don't think he's going to need surgery, hopefully. And if that's the case, then this will stay at this amount, and I will not have to dip into emergency savings to pay for surgery. So pets were expensive this month. Groceries, I allocated $600 for groceries. I'm going today, so that will be my first spend in October. I allocated $150 for gas. Dry cleaners, we're going to release these funds because personal care is so expensive in the month of October. We're not going to do any dry cleaning this month. So we're going to forgo that. We're going to release unspent funds. And then stuff I forgot about, there are some things like last month I got my shoes repaired, which I didn't budget for. I did my declutter and then moved over. I put summer away and took out fall clothes and realized my shoes looked really bad. So anyway, there's stuff that I forget to account for, and that's what the stuff I forgot about is. I allocated $100 for dining out, $40 for coffee. So that's what planned spending looks like. Essentially, the biggest bulk of this, why planned spending is so high, is because taxes, right? I actually need to, right now, taxes and planned spending, I'm going to put this into a different category so it's not messing with it, my planned spending. But the reason why planned spending looks so high is taxes, medical bills, personal care. Those three are big. Emergency fund, I am allocating an absolute minimum of $2,600. Right now I have $15,000 sitting in there, and I have a goal of $50,000. And so according to this, if I allocate a minimum of $2,600, I will get there by October of 2026. I'm probably going to end up putting in a lot more this month and over the next few months, hopefully. But bare minimum, $2,600 goes into high yield savings. And that's what October looks like for budget. I feel like I kind of sped through that. I feel like that went pretty fast. This, by the way, just to mention it, I don't know if I did before, I do use the Quick and Simplify budgeting app, which I absolutely love. I've tried many in the past. This is the one that I landed on and that I love and use and will continue to use. It is linked below. It is an affiliate link. You do not have to use it if you feel uncomfortable. I get it. Just research it on your own and, do it separately if you want. The method of budgeting is extremely subjective, so you may or may not like it, but that's what I use. And also, if you want a full tutorial of how I use this budgeting app, like the ins, the outs, tips, best practices for using the Quick and Simplify budgeting app, Let me know. I've thought about doing that in the past, but I'm like, I don't know how many people will be interested in it. So let me know. If you have any comments, concerns, if I missed anything, I feel like I might have missed something. I don't know. Let me know, and I will talk to you in the next one. Okay, thanks.